I heard
Unmuted. This way.
What's up, guys? Today, I'm so happy. I hope you're tuning in. I don't know where you're tuning into. Let me know in the chat. Tommy, I can hear that over here. You're not plugged into your headphones. I have the worst producer. If you're in DFW and you're looking for an internship job, hit us up because I am looking for a new producer. Okay. I'm really happy for today's special Friday show. All right. I canceled Free Call Friday in Discord. If you don't know what that is, join our free Discord below. Okay. Today, I have a special guest with me, Pat Hilton. All right. If you don't know who Pat is, we're going to talk about that for the next hour or so. All right. I'm going to go over current events. We're going to talk about his story. I want to talk about pushing past diversity. I'm going to talk about divorce rates in America right now. There's going to be a lot of things that I talk about right now or throughout this call. So if you have any questions, let me know. Drop in the chat, smash that like button, all the fun things. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for joining me in the content hub of Dallas.
It's unbelievable.
Where are we right now?
So we are right at Murphy and Plano border lines here in beautiful Dallas, Texas, about 30 minutes, 35 minutes east of the DFW and Love Field airports.
Okay. Tell me about the content hub of Dallas. What is it?
So I think the content hub of Dallas is the place where people can come together in a creative environment to have discussions, and whether that's business or whether that's deal making or whether that's consulting or that's masterminds or speakers or trainings or anything that is creatively integrated into your brand regarding media, you can do that here at the Content Hub. And someone who was coming up in the game 20 years ago singing at bars, we never had a place that we could go that had that vibe of a venue where we could like perform during the day or on the weekends. We could never practice in the actual venue setting because there was always a show going on. And we realized, well, how do we create that setting for people so they feel like they're showing up and it's a real venue that built into the house?
Everybody that I've brought here, that I've spoken with through here, they've absolutely loved it. They love the energy, the vibe, everything that you're doing. How long have you been building this? Right? How long? When did you first see it? Like, when was the need? Like, your vision, right?
Yeah. So
You mentioned 25 years ago or 20 years ago
Yeah.
playing in bars. I had your CD playing in our actual office today. Talk about where you started and
which is crazy. The CD that you were listening to, I don't even think that came out till like 2018. Some of those songs I wrote in like 2009. And then I finally had an opportunity to record them. So I think that there was an era of music that I was coming up in where the record label system got hit really hard by independent producers figuring out what they were doing. And that's what has happened to the entire creator economy. So I come from being an artist and producing your band and writing songs and playing shows, and all that kind of stuff. And I've realized that's all part of business. Every single business entrepreneur that you hear of has their own Stone Cold Steve Austin shtick. You know what I mean? And I think that's important. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, you got RJ Bates III, the king closer. Like everybody knows that name in real estate.
because it works.
It invokes some type of emotion in you, whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter because it is what it is. How do you become something in your category? And so a long time ago, we were trying to be Purge or Story of the Year or the bands that made it. We wanted to put a little Nelly in there, but like, dude, we didn't realize the Pat until I didn't until I realized that all that stuff was their style. And while that's part of my foundation, that's what I came up promoting myself like or performing like. I had to modernize my communication style because business is more about it's more about promoting each other as a package or a partnership than just the band as a one-hit wonder. You want to create sustainability with the customer base. And so I was always really good at because I could come back every week. So I could play every Wednesday at this place, every Thursday at this place, every Friday at this place, every Saturday at this place. And I started to kind of come up with even names for the podcast shows that I do. Because if I have Mindset Monday and Tactical Tuesday and Wacky Wednesday, it reminds me of just staying consistent every single night of the week. You could come see that Hilton somewhere, whether I lived in San Diego or whether I lived in St. Louis or whether I lived in Phoenix, Arizona. I mean, we're always at the studio recording or coming up with jams or doing something just like we're doing today. And that's just been the case because we didn't have a record deal or Saturday Night Live or a hit single. We had to play for like the.
So when did you all right, so let's start back in the day, right? I wanna really dissect everything that you went through. Uh, when you first started out playing in bars, playing in everywhere, $20 gigs, you're with Afro Man, right?
Right.
Obviously, then you didn't have a system to it, right? You didn't realize that you needed to do it in a way to build a business, right? You have to do Monday here, Tuesday here, right? Have some form of and we say all the time on my lives, anything in the Discord, if you're doing real estate, you have to have some system to it. Monday, I'm gonna be talking to these.
Right.
Tuesday, and you have to build your business around whatever funnel you're doing, right? Obviously, in the beginning, you're trying to find yourself, you're just getting out there, you're building it. You didn't realize and that also, you didn't have the tools. You didn't have Facebook, you didn't have Instagram, right? You didn't have
Well,
Reels.
and even when we did have those things, they were so new that when I was posting funny videos on those platforms all the time, people were like, "This guy's." When in reality now, that's become part of culture. I was culture hacking. I knew that that was coming 5, 6, 7 years. It's gonna go from not just our company spending millions of dollars for Super Bowl commercials that are 30 seconds, but every business in America should be integrating that into their performance daily. 30 seconds, I'm talking about my company on my Instagram. 30 seconds, I'm talking about my brand on TikTok. 30 seconds a day, I'm talking about my brand on YouTube. You can film a clip, clip it out, and post it across all the platforms every single day, and then you only need 30 clips a month, and now you've got one a day.
So I wanna get to pushing past adversity, right? So when you tell me about when you were before all of this, right? Before you realized that was the key. Um, tell me
Oh
about your
man, I
story,
mean,
right? I want to get real, right? We're talking about real. You're building this. You're gonna have a podcast, right? What's your monthly? Uh, you're doing here on the 26th, 27th,
yeah,
right? Like,
25th and 26th, we're here at Iconic Messengers. And
mhm,
it's so funny that we're like doing this because I've been testing stuff so much
mhm.
that now I almost don't even realize I'm doing a show where we have so many conversations. And I think that's where the marketplace is going is just conversations. Donald Trump and Elon Musk had a conversation on Twitter with no video, nothing. This is way fancier than what they did. And of course, I sound better than Donnie.
My
I
favorite
mean,
was the
sorry,
photo
Donnie. I
of
mean,
him laying
I'm
down
down for
and
him
on
to
the
come
photo.
join us sometime, but I mean, we know who the king of the mic is at the hub.
What so tell me about pushing past adversity,
All
right?
right,
Like
so
so
we're so used to being goofy here that we're
I
supposed
know.
to be like serious now. It's
Well,
like a serious show.
I have to. That's my job. I do this every
Man,
day.
I love it, dude.
You.
I'm the one who takes him off. So
Yeah.
check it out. So starting from day one, and I'm always used to asking you questions.
I know.
Like,
I got it.
Nobody ever asked me these questions. So I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. You know, I grew up in rural Missouri.
I'm just middle class
Right there,
family.
middle class family in America.
I
Just
had a
wanted the American
lawn.
dream.
I had
We
a
had a
lawn.
lawn. We took good care of it.
Yeah.
My dad made me mow the lawn and rake the leaves. And he was like, you know, if you want to live here, that's part of the job. That's what you have to do.
What time? What year did you start doing that? Because I can't wait for Damon's turning 10 this year, and I'm like, can he mow the lawn yet? I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he can definitely rake the leaves.
Yeah.
He can definitely rake the leaves.
I have an evergreen in
And then
Dallas. I don't have many leaves.
We had to bag the leaves too back in the day because if you like left them out on the curb, they like come by. So check it out. So I grew up kid in St. Louis, and there were a couple bands around town. There was a nice little culture of local bands, and everybody was trying to do something. And so I kind of got integrated into that culture by some guys I was in high school with. I went to CBC High School, and all the Webster kids and Kirkwood kids and the St. Joe girls and the Nearings girls and all these people would come to our shows because our band was this collection of all these different musicians from different high schools in St. Louis with a female singer. It was totally unique, and No Doubt was like just the biggest thing on the radio. And we were kind of like the St. Louis No Doubt for a second. But No Doubt, high school ended and reality kicks in, and it's like, well, do you want to do this college thing, or do you want to go out and use the knowledge that you've learned setting up all these shows and promoting all these shows and selling out the bowling alley, and do you want to like turn this into something? And so I think for 10 years, 15 years, pretty much, I relied on myself just singing at bars, performing at bars. I didn't care if I had to be a DJ. When Spotify came out, I was pumped because I could just take requests, click on the song, 3.5 minutes, and just get paid, just play requests, who cares? Anything I had to do to be in that environment, to get around people, make announcements on the microphone, get people pumped up, I was taking the gig. And I had gigs every night of the week for years, well over 10 years. But I realized that that's not really a sustainable business.
When did you meet your wife, Megan? Was that during those 10
probably
years?
like 27, at the end of those 10 years.
Okay.
At the end of the first 10.
All right, so
From 2007 to like 2017, I had been dating Megan for a couple of years. And she was the first person that I ever met I could actually move into a place to live, right? So Megan and I moved in together, and I was like, this is the one right here. Mm-hmm. She is ride or die. Because I had no place to live for like 10 straight years. I was sleeping on people's floors, singing at bars, driving all over the country. And then I moved out to San Diego, lived in San Diego for a few years. We got engaged, we got married. And then once she was pregnant with our first daughter, that was when I was making songs on the internet still, like 17 years after I started. And Grant Cardone and his wife found me on this funny Instagram video that I made. And so from there, I performed at his event at Mandalay Bay in 2018. And that was when the last 5-6 years, I've just completely shifted my environment to people that are doing business, that need marketing, that need media. And how can I set up my skill set, my cameras and my lights, and provide an environment for those people to come in and be the experts, be the billion-dollar legends, be the million-dollar legends, because those people showed me that it was possible for my skill set to be worth something way more than it was.
Every time I talk to somebody, 3 echelons higher than me, like we're talking about here, it just blows my mind because it's still the same.
Is that going on Facebook?
Yeah.
It's still always the same. It's just adding additional zeros, right? That's what they're playing at. They're still in the same game, the same business and everything.
Oh, yeah, this looks pretty good.
Take me. Hey, TJ, put your phone away.
That looks pretty good.
Sure, looks good, yeah.
I mean, for StreamYard, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. So drop it in the comments. Let me know how we
This guy
look.
comes in my house and starts using StreamYard.
Smash the like button. That's what happens when you're in the Sicilian Brothers atmosphere.
Hey, I like it. I like it. I'm with it.
Take me. All right. So now you played on Grant Cardone's stage. What's next? Who are you?
So you would think that, like, oh my gosh, this guy. So
well, I want you to tell me what other stages you worked on too, right?
And I'm a little all over the place today, but that's okay.
That's fine.
So for 15 years, I essentially sang at bars. Cardone finds my video. It was hilarious. Puts me on stage at the event. I play the lunch break at the 2018 10X Growth Con too, but then I'm back at the bar Monday night singing for $100 or $200. And so Brad Lee was the dude that I met at 10X Growth Con that was like, dude, lose the guitar, get a new sport coat. Please, for the love of God, you look like you're making Men's Warehouse great again in that thing.
You need to have multiple. It hurts so much.
You need some jeans.
My God,
What are those? And I remember talking to him because I specifically asked him, like, dude, how do I be a baller-ass speaker like you, Bradley? Come on, man. And he was like, dude, if you want to be a baller speaker, I didn't realize the question that I asked him was very specific. I knew what I saw that weekend. I performed the lunch break on the third day. So I knew, I'm like, yikes, These guys are really good. I'm just as good of a performer as anyone on the stage, but I am not even close to as good of a communicator as the people that are on stage. These are professional, like development communication specialists. Like Andy Frisella isn't just a CEO.
These are people that
He's
you
a
know. Not only do they
communication,
read
like,
books,
dude,
but like they write books too, right? Like,
these guys were
I've read it
really, really,
in a
really
book.
good. Tim Grover, these guys were really good, and it blew my mind how good they were. And I was like, wow, this is a completely different art form of performance. And so, you know, for being, again, like we're just sitting here having fun, but for being really good at it, sometimes I'm still really, really bad at it. Because I just like to have fun. Well, sometimes you got to focus on having a structure. And so I think that when you're recording anything or streaming anything, depending on what you're doing or who you're communicating to, especially if it's not as slapstick as this is meant to be, you do want to make sure you have like slides or this or that or the other thing for a presentation. Because if you're showing up to present even to a potential seller or buyer of a property, you want to make sure you have everything.
Yeah.
With this house, I have to have all the square footage labeled, documented so that we can have that on our sheets. I mean, I have to own real estate. I'm an investor at this point too now. I invested in myself, but I'm using real estate as piece of the pie to create that thing that everyone says that a house can't be an asset. And I'm like, dude, I think I found a way to turn it into one.
So you've gone from playing guitars in bars for 20 bucks to literally you're standing on stage with some of the biggest names in the country, but also working with multiple different industries, right? So you're not just in real estate. I know I am, and I know a lot of our discussions form around real estate, but no, you work with other people that just need marketing. So that's the key to it, is that you realize marketing. Marketing is in every industry, every industry that has sales.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you leverage on that? How can anybody leverage on their sales through social media and all that, right? Like, again, any real estate, those meat pockets we've always eat, right? Like
The meat pockets.
the micro everything's high protein.
Oh,
Lunchables
nutrition
now, right? Like,
solutions or
exactly.
anything.
But their social media is banging, right? Everything is some form of selling yourself.
Well, you got to think about the fact that
We're going into 2025 now. We're supposed to have flying cars. So
We're
for
supposed to have at
sales,
least the
it's
hoverboards.
for sales, it's tomorrow's market, right? So I want to get into that now.
I think that you always have to look for tomorrow's market today. I try to think about like what would Steve Jobs say to what you just said. If I really wanted to like dial in and we want to talk about marketing and not just, you know, I slept on floors for 15 years and Uncle G picked me up on the gram. But dude, after that, I went back to where I was. You always have to understand this. Your innovation will be liked and thumbs up by a few people, but maybe most people still think, oh, well, what does entrepreneur even mean? I was like, I was on Entrepreneur Magazine. I was on their live feed telling the people, like my boss at the bar. Now, the boss at the bar, this is the funniest part. There was only one bar in California that would even book me because I was so loud, so crazy, so obnoxious. No one else would book me. This guy, Paul Hennessy, owned.
name.
Great name. American flag in the front.
Oh, God bless
You know,
him.
the Irish Chianti thing all over the place. I mean, the guy was a true patriot. So this guy had 13 Hennessy's joints all the way up and down the coast. And so since no one else would book me, the first 6 months I was there, I terrorized open mics. And then I brought Afro Man to a couple different venues. And then the Hennessy guy was like, dude, just play every night of the week at all of our places. And so I made a deal with old
Running
Paul.
up and down.
I remember calling him and being like, dude, I'm starting this digital marketing thing, going all in on it. And he was like, oh, well, we knew you wouldn't be around forever, Patrick. We knew, dude. Like, people around you will be like, oh, yeah, we knew it was going to work. But, dude, we still got work to do. This is just the beginning. This is the first time we've ever tested the live stream gear like this with these two camera setups. This is the first time we've ever used StreamYard in here because we want people to be able to walk in here and use the gear.
I've throughout the years, and you too, right? So you need to, if you want to be growing in any industry, you need to be networking. You have to be branching out.
Oh, yeah.
In real estate or any industry, there's always these conferences, right? So throughout the years, I've gone all throughout the country and I've met thousands of individuals, right? I forget what the fuck I was going with that.
Well, dude, conferences rule. They saved my life. They saved my career. I always say that too, and it was so funny because I was out at the Deal Champs event, Dean Rogers, Tom knows, and
Sorry.
I was introducing RJ.
Fuck.
How would I know
Drop that
RJ if it wasn't for all these live events that have happened? It was Texas that really was like Kelly Smith and like, RJ Bates and like all those people, Harridge, even freaking, that whole Propelio crew was really supportive of me going out and doing this thing. And I was like, man, how can I kind of create a space that's similar to all the best parts of all that uppity, joyous, let's do business together hype, and put that into a place where people can do live roundtable networking podcasting. They show up, it's the real estate roundtable or whatever it is. We've got topics, we've got bullet points, we've got what are the loan rates, we've got this, we've got that, and it's mapped out and we can pull it up on the screen and we can educate people on what's going on in the market. DFW needs that. And so I think that the Content Hub is built to be that medium of the DFW experts record at the Content Hub. That's what I want to make.
So before my brain turned to jello and I completely forgot the end of my point.
Well, it's been a busy morning.
What I was getting to was you mentioned your the bar owner, right?
Paul Hennessy.
He talked about your drive, right? That obviously he knew that you weren't going to stay around. You are a special person, right? Maybe we call
Very
it fair,
special.
Maybe call it fairy dust, maybe call it ADD, whatever. You have that drive, right? That's what we're talking about.
Right.
I have met so many people throughout the country. You meet people all the time that want to get in something else, but there's always some people that you see that man, it's going to be difficult because they don't have that drive, right? So in anything, to be successful, what does it take?
Well, I mean, again, I always say this because I think it's important, but success is literally different for everybody. So
It's whatever you
I've
think
I've been up there as the lunch break guy with Grant Cardone, and I've been up there as the host of the show, right? Like the master of ceremonies, like the Kevin Hart position with Grant Cardone. And I can tell you that those guys are on a completely different schedule. They're on a completely different type of time management. They have a different type of sense of urgency. If you ever seen me pacing me around or I'm all in the clouds, it's like, man, I'm doing 100 million things at once and we want this place to be booked and people coming through here and changing their entire careers with that one video. That's what happened for me. And we've already duplicated this process so many times for so many other people. And now I am in control of the environment. The toughest lesson that I learned from being at like a Cardone event, crushed it. Dude, Pace and Jamil, wow. For them to put me up as the MC at Squad Up after all of that, dude, come on. Those guys are freaking legends.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm some kind of real estate guy that's got any like clout in that industry or anything like that. Like the industry doesn't owe Pat Hilton anything. But wow. Look at what this category has done for me as like a media person. I could really apply my skill to people's brands and it helps everyone win. And I don't know any other industry that has that word associated with it, community. And I think that Pace and Jamil have taken that word and really stamped it into the freaking sand.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it helps everybody. I think we should all embrace that. And I think that this place, I want this place to, like, we need to be the wholesale hotline for Dallas Fort Worth.
I know so many people.
I mean, dude, they're legends, right?
I know
Brett
so
Daniels?
many people that are making a living just off of that community, not even doing real estate, right? Just by being a service provider.
It's just
them,
a
right?
people thing. All these real estate investors, we need HVAC. We need lights. We need window cleaning. We need landscaping. Anybody who's doing deals or working with people, all these investors all the time, they need all this kind of stuff. pool services, pest control, home services. The type of deal in home services to take out an SBA loan and borrow other people's money to do an acquisition deal in business acquisitions is almost the same deal structure as a real estate deal. Because I've sat in all these seminars and I've watched people break it down. And I think that they both work together. But I think that moving forward, if it came to like pure profit or what you needed to do over the next 5 years to get wealthy outside of building your brand, and this is just what I'm seeing. It doesn't make me an expert, doesn't make me some kind of wealth advisor. I've hung out with a lot of people that are way more successful than me, and it's that they're building their brand, they're learning how to integrate advertising and media, and they're also figuring out how to help acquire talent and cash flow the right way, whether that's real estate or businesses that are already cash flowing. How do I partner with another business that's already got money and create a creative partnership and an incentive program that grows us both? I think that's the play, especially for small businesses, is to either roll up, merge, acquire. That's going to be a huge play for people. The $1 to $5 million cash flowing businesses, that's huge.
It's just another play from the late 90s, right? When roll-ups were big and they were going around and taking different thing from making, because there wasn't no nation brands and stuff. It was before the tech bubble. But anyway, I want to shift gears.
That's where our marketing went, though.
Yeah.
My marketing went from promoting myself as Pat at the bar to promoting, Jim or Ralph or Stevens, real estate, transaction coordination, or this or that or the other thing, and building those people into assets because they work with multiple different companies. Online consulting is going to blow up over the next 5 years too.
I love it. I wanna shift gears a little, right? And I wanna get into today's market. I wanna get into something that I see come up every year. Okay, it's Q4 depression. It's big in real estate. It's big in any industry, right? People come into Q4. A lot of times, Christmas come by. People, man, it's tough, right? A lot of times, right now, people can't afford groceries right now. So I'm not trying to get political or anything like that.
Well, I mean, dude, there was just a hurricane that crushed like a lot of places, and it's horrible.
Did you see the satellite photo of the past couple of days? At night, there's a before and after of just the east of America, and you can see the lights one night from normal, and then it's just all dark. It looks like North Korea, dude.
That's so
it's
sad.
insane.
I saw there was someone's house, and just that's why I think I love the house so much, because all I ever wanted was just like, if I could just have a house, that'd be great. Because floors and closets and vans in this place, it's kind of getting old. Couches. But I watched somebody's house float away, and I was like, that's just freaking devastating.
Dude, there's so many things that we can get into.
And then, like, what happens to that land?
I mean, now all the government contractors go to work and make out, and then again, I don't want to get into that. God damn it.
It's unbelievable what they do.
I'm trying to keep my tinfoil hat in the closet, right,
and with
guys?
just a few weeks left, in a few weeks you will, without a doubt, have a new president. It will be Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, one or the other.
Right now, a lot of people, everybody that I talk to, well, a lot of what we're talking about is real estate, getting into real estate.
Well, I think that's going to affect rates and positioning. I think Pace Morby's made some great videos on it.
So
He's really good at not being partisan when he talks about stuff. I'm not as good as him at that.
Well, I just stay away from it, right? I try
How
to stay
clean
away
is
from
he,
it.
Thomas? Gosh, Pace is so clean.
I want to get into how can people avoid that beatdown, that depression, that depression.
Get to work. Because again, a lot of the things you were talking about, I've seen clips, I've seen this, I've seen that. We're so dialed in here with getting everything set up, and just to even be able to test this on a Friday, I wasn't even going to have this ready until maybe Monday of next week, and we're set up, we're streaming, and we're going. Because, dude, I got back from an event Sunday early, and it was 4 event weekends in a row, right? So it was Chicago, Orlando, Dallas here at the Content Hub, and then Orlando or whatever it was. 4 of them: Chicago, Scottsdale, Orlando, Dallas. 4 weekends in a row. Came back, set all this up. We're streaming on a Friday. Because, dude, I'm like, we want to be open for business in October. We want people booking appointments. Mm-hmm. And so, dude, stuff is always going to happen. And I have a friend, Ryan McGinn, who lost his house twice. And I'm like, dude, what can I do for you? Like, do you need to use the studio? I mean, do you need to stay here? What am I supposed to do for people? And so I think it's our job and it's our duty and it's our obligation to go out there and do our thing as hard as we possibly can, because that's the best way that we can help people. When I met Ryan 3 years ago, I didn't have anything that I could even possibly provide to him. Yeah. He was like, dude, buy this camera gear and this camera gear and your shorts will look really crisp. We're using one of the cameras right now.
Oh, nice. The one in the back, I bet?
Yeah, the one in the back.
Nice.
And so it's like, dude, my obligation to people like that is to go out and crush it. If he needs to use this place, it's wide open for him now.
So I think what you're saying is, like, as a community, we have to make sure we're providing for anybody that does need help. But also, if you are having trouble and you're having, like, if you're hitting that wall, you just got to keep going.
I think you got to keep going, but it's also okay to ask for help, right? So here's the thing, like, man, as someone who roasts gurus and knows all the gurus and all this kind of stuff, I mean, if what they said wasn't true, would anyone have listened to it in the first place? 80%, 90% of really good salespeople or motivational speakers, that are really, really good, it's because they say things that are most likely common sense, just in a form of delivery that gets your attention better than just saying, hey, if you counted this and that every day and you lost 1 pound a week, you could, over 90 days, probably lose like 15 pounds really easily, instead of, you're a fat ass. So it just depends on who you are, how your personality works. Telling me you're a fat ass helps me more. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Easy tweak. Just got to count it on the watch. Bought the watch to count it. You know what I mean? Easy tweak. Count it on the watch every day. We'll keep that stat. Easy fix. But some people, you have to understand, this is marketing and advertising. How do I communicate with this person compared to that person? This person in the front row communicates different than the person in the back row. The person in the back row wants to be in the front row, whether they want to admit it or not. How do I make them feel as warm and as good as the people in the front row? A great speaker will walk to those people, right? Mm-hmm. Walk through this. You have to think about, in marketing or in real estate or in investing or acquisitions or whatever, how do I use other people's strengths and magnify that to get more deals for them and in turn me? And so I've looked as a dorky media guy, which is what I wanted to become anyway, because it helps me work with more people. How do I, as a dorky media dude, set up all my toys and help people make millions of dollars with their content? That's my job over the next 5 years, is to get people in here. This is the first stream we've ever done like this, with the dual chairs and the TV. How do I get people in this environment and get behind the camera on the other side of the camera and pull out the expert information that people need out there to do their first real estate deal, their first acquisition, their first landscaping gig, the first window washing gig. The window washer guys were in here the other day, knocking on my door.
I almost fell out of my chair when
they
I
had
saw
their
that.
first door knock. I want to live and produce and elevate in a way that brings this whole area that, like, helped me make it up. Mm-hmm. And it's quite the responsibility and quite the challenge. But in today's day and age, everybody needs this.
I absolutely agree, and that's why I love everything that you're building. We're talking about struggles right now. I want to...
you got to just push through it, man.
I know.
You got to create an environment to where your level of production is so high that by January, you've grown to a point where you can't not be better.
I want to talk on one specific topic, right? So the other day, me and my wife sat down And as I was
Lovely wife, by the way.
as I was brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed and everything, we were just talking, and we ran through. There are currently, and again, this is nationwide that I know people, so I'm going to piss off a lot of people.
Oh boy, here we
with
go.
the next conversation that I go through, right? I'm going to touch a lot of sensitive topics, okay?
Gonna get sensitive, people.
Divorces right now. I know 11 different couples that are getting divorced, right? Because
I know quite a few.
times are tough, right? People are feeling pressure, right? Their breaking points are being met. Rents are going down, right? Rents are going down, meaning that people can't afford rent. So tenants can't afford to pay rent. Landlords can't afford to not be paid. Yada, yada, yada. Right now in America, I was trying to find statistics on divorce rates and if they're raising or anything like that. I want to get into marriage. I want to get into what wedding vows mean to you. Okay, what are your thoughts on marriage? To me, it's not in my vocabulary, right? And that's not to knock on anybody that gets divorced or anything like that. But when I grew up very strict Northeast Italian. Okay, I grew up Bronx tale almost. Okay,
Come on.
and that's to be honest, right? Like
It's a me, Mario.
even though, okay, ready? Listen, here's the hypocritical part because I know it's all psychological. Even though both of my parents were married previously and divorced before they met each other, and then got married. To me, I look at them and how I grew up and my grandparents before them because divorce never used to be a thing, right?
Do you judge them for that?
No, not at all. I don't judge anybody. That's God's honest truth.
I do.
I'll make jokes about everybody, but to me,
I judge myself sometimes.
To me-
too. I'm not perfect.
vows, right? I said to Lucia that for better or for worse, right? We're in this together. It's a partnership, and then been going through this shit for years, right? But at the same time, it's us versus the world. Okay? So I want to get into what do you think about marriage? As somebody that has been through the shit, I've seen your feet, man. I've seen you walking gravel, bro. You've walked the road, right? Like
My feet are gross.
But my
dude.
point being is like you've walked the road.
They're-
Like you've been
they
to
really are physically disgusting.
You've been to
He
hell
makes
and
fun of
back.
my feet.
You've been to hell and back, right? With Megan too. You guys started off an apartment. Like you've been to shit. What does marriage? What do wedding vows mean to you?
Well, I mean, of course, it's a loaded question either way you answer it, which is what makes it a great question. The thing about marriage is that the internet and social media and YouTube and all these people came along and got married, and then the marriage didn't work. And so you see, I almost feel like more examples of that than it actually working. And so this is just like anything else. If it's 50-50 odds on anything, well, what impact do I have on the result? Because it only has to be 50-50 odds if you're not giving 100%. Because if you look at a marriage as 50-50, you might fail. You have to look at it as I'm going to give 100% of the time, and that person's going to give 100% of the time. Because if you're only giving 50%, it breaks. And so I think that with anything, you have to learn how to actually make a commitment and stick to a commitment. And that can be very hard. And there's going to be days that you don't do very well. How do you put accountability systems in place so that you don't miss any days? And I had to do this with alcohol because, dude, I cannot drink alcohol anymore. Right? I got in too much trouble drinking alcohol. It's not good for me. Anybody that even watches this, because most people on my Facebook page have been following me since like 2008 when I started the page.
We glossed over that. I didn't make you.
So
I
it's
didn't make
like,
you bring
there's
it up.
like anything I'm like 15 years of this and that and the other thing. You go look at Facebook and you're like, ah, boy, God, this guy's been doing it a long time. That's all I posted because that's all I did. And so I think that for me, it was the only place to go. I didn't have anywhere else to go. Megan was the only place, the only safe place that I ever had to go. because it was always on somebody's floor, somebody's couch, or somebody's this or somebody's that. And so when I met her and we started to get together and then we moved into an apartment together, at that point, I had pretty much already made the commitment in my head that, I mean, you don't really like move in with a chick unless you're going to marry her.
Yeah.
Right. So it was going to take some time, but in my head, I was like, I mean, this is the only safe place you've ever had. And so I think that's why even today, everything's going. And we got 2 kids and, we've got this house now. We finally got our own house. And we didn't even buy a house, our first house, until 3 years ago. So if I was playing for 15 years and then played for Uncle G and then did that and did this other thing, it was only 3 years ago that we even got our first house. And when we got our first house, my license was suspended from my second DUI. I didn't have a car for like 5 years, 4 years or something like that. And RJ Bates signed off on the community service. And then they tried to disallow it and say I didn't serve X amount of hours for the Kids Cancer Foundation, and RJ had to close them on the fact that he had all the proof. It's like, dude, what's with these people that if you're trying to do something big, you're going to have flaws, right? And as you get around those bigger people, you have to figure out how to get rid of those flaws or minimize them. And usually it's the most simple tweak. Like for alcohol, it was like, well, just don't drink alcohol anymore, and you'll just never get in trouble like that again.
It's so easy.
Wait a minute.
It's so easy. But
I remember talking to the lawyer, Cole Casey. He'll probably see this. Take this clip. Luis, take this clip. I go, and I meet the lawyer after my second DUI. I had played the Grant Cardone 10X Growth Con 6 months prior. You know what I mean? I'm the underdog. I'm the king underdog. Now I got my second DUI. I'm showing up to meet the lawyer with my baby, she's under a year old, to meet this guy. And I roll up, I got the little stroller thing, I sit down and I meet this guy, sharp guy,
Lawyers
California, outside La Jolla. He's definitely, took one look at this guy and you're like, okay, this guy's definitely good. And he's like, all right, so show me the paperwork, blah, 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 blah. And I called this guy like in tears, like a day before, freaking out. Show him all the stuff, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, all right, so here's what you're going to do. Okay? You're going to quit drinking. You're going to go to this place. And you're going to sign up for the program. And then you're going to go and you're going to have to go do all these AA meetings. And you're going to do this and do this. And you're going to get all of this done by the time we drive up to Laguna Beach for that date, that day. And I'm going to see if I can find a hybrid deal since you were pulled over in Orange County, not San Diego. Now I have to see if they'll let you serve the term in San Diego because it's your second offense. And that includes, 48 hours or whatever hours of mandatory jail time. Hopefully you can serve that with an ankle bracelet.
Orange County Jail, right?
And I
That
was like,
would have been.
holy fuck, dude, what did I do? Bro. So, and this was like still slightly before Uber and all of that was like massively available and trusted by people. So yeah, people were like, why is it an Uber? Fuck you, number one, okay? People make mistakes and they're stupid, okay? And so obviously I acknowledged that and stopped doing it. Number two, that doesn't help. And number three, anyone that actually has a problem, by the way, makes it worse. Who wouldn't want to drink after somebody says something like that to them? But third, it's like that commitment thing, right? What do I need to do to make sure that I just don't do that anymore? All right, well, let's just eliminate that environment. So no more bars. Let's eliminate this, eliminate that, and eliminate the other thing. Like the other guy was like, dude, easy tweak. Just put this into your watch and then count this amount of calories for the next 60, 90 days. And then, based on the numbers of protein, carbs every day, you'll be right at the number that you want, just scientifically. Just plug it into a watch and then just go by the numbers.
I think what a lot of times
We
people
overthink this stuff, dude.
People also,
or we just don't count anything.
They
in our
also
life.
try to.
We don't track anything.
They use it like a crutch, right? So, and it's always an excuse, and that's the problem, right?
Same thing with your marriage or anything else. Did I go through the cycle of doing everything right today? for the kids, for the wife, for the business, for the social media,
My
for this whatever.
And I know, and again, I know again, everybody that I do know that is getting divorced, like God bless them, right? I have nothing against them. It's nothing judgment. But my question is, not only did you go through all the steps, but did you reach across the aisle and help the other person, your life partner, because that's what you signed up for, right?
She had to drive me
I said,
everywhere for years.
I said, till death do us part. In my eyes, I've said vows. That is Lucia is my life partner. I'm gonna do everything I can to help her at any time through sickness and through wealth, whatever the
That's
fuck
the
the vows are,
commitment,
right? Like
dude.
that's the commitment. So are you reaching across the aisle and helping them go 100% too?
Yeah, so I think that it goes in phases, right? Life's a roller coaster. So when we first were getting together, that was not my shiniest moments, right? And so a real woman, when you're in that situation, she'll find the strengths and she'll balance the weaknesses. And that's what we figured out. Okay? So we figured out how to take all the production stuff and the video stuff and the audio stuff that I'm good at and not only use that to magnify other people, but to build something that was a real service that could also help us provide the freedom for her to be a parent and take care of the kids.
Yeah.
So when she was working as a part-time teacher, she couldn't do that because all she did was take care of everybody else's kids. And so she couldn't really take care of herself.
And I know people are gonna, listen. It's easy to say everything looking back, and if tomorrow World War III happens, stock market crashes, everything falls, you have to sell, you move back to an apartment.
I mean, dude, then life goes on. Everyone would be like, okay, well, he's just got to go build it again.
And,
everybody cancels tomorrow. Everybody's credit card shot for 2 weeks. What am I supposed to do?
And at the end of the day, it's still you and Megan versus the world, right? Like,
and we'd be fine. We'd be fine. We were very, very happy without anything. And so we've got a couple things now. And my goal in buying any of the things that I bought was to use those things to help other people. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm always going to be in the right with that because I built a lane for everybody to zip down as fast and as hard as they possibly can. Like anyone who invested any money in our company or me or whatever can come here. They could text me right now and say, dude, hey, I'm coming through Dallas. And they're welcome to pop in here and use this place. That's what it's for. Or it wouldn't exist. It wouldn't exist without those people. So I think that if you look at that, in marriage or in business or in success or in life is number one, how can I get better? Number one, how can I make everyone else around me better? Not just my kids or my wife or not just the business and not just the kids and the wife, right? Everybody, I've had to change a lot of communication with our digital team because a lot more is happening here now. So it's like, okay, well, we need these systems built to communicate between the client's topics, what we need to be coming into the system, when they're filming that at the studio, and then when it's getting produced and when it's getting posted. There's all these different compartments. It used to just be like, well, I guess we'll post something here and we'll post something there.
God,
now it's a real business.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's funny because it's like I get on these streams and it's like, I used to be so worried about it being a show and being so dialed in. And it's like, I think the best podcasts and the best conversations are the ones where people just hit it and get it. Because I think we watch people be so many things, and then it's like, well, we need to be that, or I need to be this, or I need to be that, or I need to be Uncle G, or I need to be that. And I think the reason why people like RJ or Pace and Jamil or you or whoever else, Dean or whoever stands out is because they're not trying to be like everybody else. They're just trying to be them.
I'm going to start taking off my shoes like Mr. Rogers.
But at the same time, you have to provide that for your family and their household too. Mm-hmm. My kids come home, they're crazy like me. They want to have fun. They want to run around. They want to scream and yell. I can't tell them not to be that. Well, be quiet. Daddy's recording. Only daddy's allowed to be crazy. You have to be quiet. Dude, what? Like, that doesn't work. So we have to have enough space for them to have that energy too. And so I have to create that environment for my kids too. And it's been way better for our family as a result. And so all of these things, as you grow and as you get better and as you work on yourself, everything elevates. I think it all starts with you. You know, yeah, even if you're the wife in the situation, I think that men in society, you know, we're supposed to go, 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 go. And we usually do. But sometimes it's just like why people like that 300 movie, you know, because that queen, she's all badass. Everybody loves the little scene 300 with the queen and the king guy, and this guy's going to leave and
I
he's
didn't know
willing
where
to
you were
die
going with
for
the 300.
Sparta, right? Sparta. And it's like, okay, well, not number one, this isn't Sparta. And number two, I get that, but you have to be a warrior for your spouse. You have to. So don't commit to someone that you're not willing to freaking live in a van with.
Down by the river.
If you think, and we see this on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube all the time, these women or men, I guess it could be. Usually I see it's women. So if you want to take it out of context, that's fine. But usually it's probably a guy asking a question because women are way more attractive to look at than men on camera.
Just the figure.
Way more fun. Everything about them is great. So people naturally navigate to that type of content. And so you ask a woman what she wants. Look at what happened to Hawk Dua.
God, she's number 3 podcast in the world.
So, you know, women will get on the thing and be like, I need a man to have this, and this, or I'm not going to marry him.
A lot
It's
of
like,
people
all right,
hate
well,
on her, but I think
times have changed,
she's
right,
also
Thomas?
authentic. I think that's what people
Times
like.
have changed.
So,
You don't just meet a beautiful young, oh, I think I have the jeans on with the hole in them. You don't just meet a beautiful young lady at Fraley's Pub anymore and fall in love in rural America.
no.
Times have changed.
Well, it's also the bubble has shrunk so much. You can see how other people are living in other parts of the country and the world, and you kind of get a bad taste in your mouth for the decision that you made. But yet, a lot of times, people forget everything that they did up to saying yes, right? So, what made you want to make them the partner, right? A lot of times, when we get all these feelings, or anybody, right? Anytime we get into tough, we start into the shit of it. We always, if you're fighting all the time, you forget why that person is my partner, right? A lot of times, people want what is outside their bubble. They just fucking forget.
Megan
what
and I
makes
don't
them
fight
happy.
that much.
No, but a lot of people right now in America do, and that's what I'm trying to get to. Right now,
So, dude, I think
I
that-
know a lot of people getting divorced. A lot right now. I know a lot of people in real estate that things are going bad, and when money's involved,
I was about to say, money is.
it always is the money involved.
I've always
right?
had
So,
some of the problems I've had with people is because it's just money. You know, I run a business and it is what it is, and it's a lot of times it's just me seeing how other people do things because I mean we're small fries in the big scheme of things, right? We're your local media marketing guy. We're pretty happy to do what we love to
New
do.
York or in
We've got
Dallas.
great clients. We've got unbelievable people that we work with, and it's like we've got a great network. We're very blessed. That took a shitload of blood, sweat, and tears to build. So where I draw the line is, hey, listen, money's one thing, but like ethics are another thing. We've got X, Y, and Z that happened with a person and their health issue. Some things went wrong in one department, and we just had to fix it. You know what I mean? So it's like this charge was wrong. That was the wrong package. This was this package, and I'm like, oh my gosh, well, why don't I just go in and fix all this real quick, and then resend it on here so that we have it all documented. And this is this, and this, and this, and this is the other thing. So things are going to happen in a relationship, or you're not organized or whatever. Organization and having everything clear and having what needs to be communicated with your spouse on finances, the kids, scheduling. It's just like your business. It all has to be scheduled. We're going to the freaking Murphy Carnival thing tomorrow, and it's on my schedule. And so the hub is closed tomorrow, unless you guys want to pop in and use it, which is fine. But it's like I have that on my schedule. And so I think that the things that you put on your schedule that take up your time, that are there and they're non-negotiable, have to be put on the calendar. And sometimes it's business too. Sometimes it's business, and dad's got to be gone 3 out of 4 weekends a month for 2 straight months. And then maybe I'm home for a whole month on all those weekends. But when opportunities show up, I don't say no. I have to show up. I have to be the MC, write the stage scripts. We have to market usually a group for people to join, be a part of the communities that I'm working with, and all these different things. And now I get to be in these rooms and learn from the best minds in the world. And that's why I think that it's so important, regardless of what industry you're in, to figure out a way to communicate to people on camera and just learn how to just have fun doing it. Because if you try to just be one shtick so hard, it's gonna get old. And if it's getting old for you, it's gonna get old for people to watch. And so that's why I always think it's just good to have fun, which is why I think it's so important to have this format as well as the short form format that sells. Short form videos sell.
It can be from anything too, right?
Yeah,
like
they
I
sell.
tell people that all the time. You
10
can just
seconds.
Be in Home Depot, right? It can just talking about anything for your day, right? I just got coffee and XYZ, right? Like if you're in the car taking a selfie video, nothing nowadays. Your iPhone, whatever, has a better camera than anything.
It's great.
Out. So, do we have any guys? Do you guys have any questions, comments,
just out here
anything like that?
shooting the shit.
I know. I don't have my screens in front of me, so I can't actually see what people are typing. That's
Yeah,
one
dude.
thing
I'm
we
just
have to
out here
build
having
out.
fun with the gear. How's the gear look?
I don't have my screens in front of me, so I can't actually see what people are Kermit the Frog
It's
over
all
here.
right. Oh, yeah, that's good. It looks good.
This one's actually the one, right?
Interesting.
It might just be the way it's set up or whatever. But
This
right
one,
now,
the A7 III?
Ah.
Dude, is that the widescreen lens from the Sigma widescreen lens?
It's Sigma A7 III?
This one on that?
Get out!
Yeah.
It's the Sigma?
And then that's the badass one.
Well, this is the expensive cinematic one. So let me point at the expensive cinematic one while I say that. Just so I can say it. The FX3. This is the FX3. We should do this for the gear nerds on YouTube. Welcome everyone to the Content Hub, and this camera right here that you're seeing me on is the Sony FX3, and this camera that you're seeing me on right here is the Sony A7 III. Now, one of them is from the cinematic line, the other one is from the vertical video style line. And what I've noticed is a lot of people that film short form vertical videos, their camera settings are super crystal clear, even in a widescreen horizontal mode. And so when we've started to change these lenses out and start to film a lot more horizontal, not just vertical, we've noticed a really different variety of ways to set these up, because this FX3, when you shoot a reel close, it looks unbelievable, but farther away with the widescreen, it's just different. And it might be because we need to change some of the color settings. But yeah, there's our test for all you YouTube nerds. Clip that out for YouTube.
Did I have any questions or anything that I need to ask?
Come on.
Answer?
Shelby says, "Oh, two of my faves."
Two faves.
Shelby, you need to come out when's your event?
25th and 26th. I see it. It looks
25th
good.
and 26th. Shelby, you need to come out 25th and 26th.
October
You would love
25th and 26th. We're here at the Content Hub.
DM Pat, Shelby. DM Pat, Shelby.
I'm just having fun with this gear. We got the
Thank
doll
you.
from downstairs.
Thank you so much for today. I
Dude,
appreciate
thank you for coming around and
What
working with us.
talk to that camera and tell me about Content Hub 20 whatever.
So check it out. So 20 years I've been producing music and videos and building websites and posters and putting on events and performing, and I've done it all across the country. And what I created here at the Content Hub of Dallas is literally a live venue recording scene with multiple rooms, a whole party area downstairs that you can come and literally use to record your podcasts, your multi-camera shooting with horizontal, just like we're doing here, or your vertical shooting, because in my opinion, everyone needs daily reels, daily shorts, daily TikToks. You need to be posting on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube daily. And so if that means shooting a podcast, I do a podcast. I use it. We use clips from that. We shoot vertical ads. We shoot vertical reels, vertical bullet point tips, hacks and lessons. And I think that the more you are on camera communicating with your potential customers, communicating with the world, the higher you're going to rank, the more people are going to get a hold of you, and the more opportunities you're going to create to get on more stages. Because I think stages are what separate you from everybody else, because that's where all the real experts get to project to a major audience and get the notoriety that they deserve. And that starts with video, because the first place those people go is your social media pages.
That's what days?
October 25th and 26th.
Awesome. DM Pat, what is on Halloween?
Halloween, we got the golf tournament. We got
Second
the golf
annual
tournament.
charity golf tournament.
Should I grab the guitar? Oh, it's in the other room, I think.
Second annual golf tournament. Guys, if you haven't yet, sign up. It is booking up fast. I only have 144 golfer spots available, and we're over 100 already booked. So sign up. If you are interested in sponsoring, the 10th is the cutoff date. So if you're interested in partnering, reach out, DM me personally. We'll get in touch. Pat, again, thank you so much. If anybody's interested in working with Pat, DM him. If anybody is interested in joining anything, click on the link below. Join the Discord. Reach out, drop your questions. Keep crushing it.
Keep
Peace.
crushing it.
Nice head.
That's not bad. Nothing like a little head.
Well, I don't have my fade to black.
Fade to Black. Oh, man. It's a great album.
Oh, look, otters.
I think it looks pretty good, right?
When the otters come on.
They've been there the whole time.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. You're muted.
Fucking TJ does that and it drives me nuts.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, it looks so fucking amateur looking at your phone on camera. And then you start hearing yourself. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, look, it looks good. You sound shocked. Oh, wow, look how many people are watching. Shut the fuck up. Put your phone away. Does Grant Cardone have his fucking phone out? Does Uncle G? No.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Hey, that's still going. Yeah, he totally does.